Hey guys, welcome to Feature Junkie. My name's Ed and thank you guys for joining me today. If this is your first time here, well, welcome. This is Feature Junkie, where we talk all things movies, TV shows, streaming, all that great stuff. And today we'll be talking about the movie Barbarian, directed by Zach Cregger, starring Georgina Campbell, Justin Long, and Bill Skarsgård. So right now, IMDb has this movie rated as a 7.6 out of 10. Rotten Tomatoes has this as a 93%. And Metacritic has this as a 79 out of 100. I've got a few things to say about this film, but before I do, if you could leave a like down below, I'd greatly appreciate it. It helps so much. But let's get into the plot, courtesy of IMDb. In town for a job interview, a young woman arrives to her Airbnb late at night, only to find that her rental has been mistakenly double booked and a strange man is already staying there. Against her better judgment, she decides to stay a night anyways, but soon discovers that there is so much more to be afraid of in the house than the other guests. Guys, I'm so torn on this film. Right off the back, I just want to tell you guys, if you've seen the trailer and you think you have some kind of perception of what this film is actually like, just throw that out the window. It's much more different than you actually think. It's so hard to compare this film with any other, but if I were to, I would say it's probably like The Strangers and The Black Phone. I don't want to spoil too much about this movie, but I think they're similar in ways that the individuals in the movies are being held against their will in the home and they're just trying to escape. And as I said at the top of this, I'm so torn on this film because I absolutely loved the first half of this film. I said before in the Black Phone review that I did that was my favorite horror film of the year so far, and the first half of this film was blowing it out the water. You know, initially when this movie started, I thought they were probably going to take about 10 minutes to go over like how Georgina gets to the Airbnb and sets up the whole background story, but nope, they just go straight into it with her pulling up to the Airbnb and you're just like, oh shoot, like they were really starting like this, it's about to go down. Then it slows down for a little bit, but then you're just loving the chemistry and the conversations that are happening between Bill Skarsgård and Georgina, and you're just going with the flow at this point. And then the film takes a turn and you're just like, holy crap. And it's getting better and better, and then Justin Long is introduced and it's getting better and better, and then the second half has to start. And I'll be honest, it wasn't even that bad. It's just that when you have such a stellar first half of the film and then the second half starts and you're just like, oh okay, then it kind of just leaves you like, man, only if. Like when I'm talking about the first half, it's like the great acting, which is great through the entire movie, but like the tone in the first half, the beautiful camera shots, the writing, and then I want to stop there because the writing is probably the biggest difference for me in this film. And I looked it up. Zach Cregger is the director and the writer for this entire film, but it just felt like there was two completely different writers in this movie, where like the second half of the film, there's a lot of like little hokey stuff and parts that kind of puzzled me of why they would choose to interpret things in certain ways. The film has a crazy labyrinth theme to it, and I felt like if they would have just stuck with that, man, this would have easily have been my favorite horror film of the year. I think the film is still pretty good. I just think that their execution was missed in a few spots that could have made it better. And I left the theater talking about it, so whenever a film can do that to you, it definitely did its job. I also think this is a movie that you should probably check out on your own because you might think something different than me. You might think this is a smash hit. For me, I'm just going to give it a simple recommend. But I want to hear from you guys what your thoughts are on this film. If you liked it or if you had any concerns, leave those thoughts in the comments down below. And if you haven't already, please like this video, subscribe, hit that notification icon down below so you know when I'm going live or dropping new content. And I want to thank you guys so much for joining me here today on Feature Junkie.